My vet practice in the zoo. I reviewed a few of these animal veterinary games, and the one thing they always had in common was that they were not just about fixing up animals. They try to make a world that exists outside the veterinary clinic, even if it's in the most basic way. Even Barbie and her sister's puppy rescue had more than just rescuing puppies. Not much more, but at least it had something. This was one of the most shallow games I've ever played. It has you fixing up animals doing simple button presses. And that's it. I mean, you can walk around a little, but it's all just window dressing. If I would have made this, I would have made it so the park needed fixing up and unlocking new animals, and you would get new animals as you unlock different parts of the park. And that would give you incentive to get these new places. Oh my god, am I just pitching Barbie Project Friendship? Alright, how about you do something like that? Just don't make it terrible like that game. They just don't give you any reason to keep going, other than unlocking generic clothes for your character. This felt so cheaply made, but at times I could see some care they actually put into the zoo itself, because the zoo was fairly impressive. Now, it wasn't very large, but that's a good thing because you don't want to have to drive around in this slow car too much. When I say impressive, I mean the environments, for the most part, look like real animal enclosures. They could have just put random animals in generic environments and called it a day, but it looks like they actually spent some time working on this. Now, other than the enclosures, the zoo itself is ridiculous. For example, they're easy to jump over barriers, stopping the polar bears from eating the guests. I think they spent so much time working on the animal enclosures, they didn't actually factor in the reality of keeping them from escaping. And trust me, all these animals could escape with very little effort in real life. They have you fixing up animals who have randomly serious problems. So much so, I think the zoo should be shut down. Why are there so many sick animals in this place? In order to fix the animals, you have to do small button presses for each of the procedures. When you have to interact with an animal, it would show you on the top what they want you to do. But often the prompt was wrong for the thing they were having you do. Like when it said to get a temperature, it would give you the option to listen to the heartbeat. You never had to select anything, as the game would just switch to the thing it wants you to do, even if it's wrong for the instructions they give you. Eventually you'll get around to the operation they want you to do, but it's a little weird that they have you do these side ones first. They use the same animations for the readouts consistently. For example, when there's a blood test, I swear all the blood is irregular. I don't even know if they have an animation for a normal blood sample. The first thing you have to do is to calm down the animals by petting it. And this goes for lions and polar bears as well. Two animals you really shouldn't be rubbing down. All of the animals looked a bit hurt or sick when they came in, which makes sense, until I got to the gorilla. And I swear to you, I started laughing so hard when I saw this. Thank goodness I wasn't drinking anything, because it would have come out everywhere. The gorilla just looks like he's ready for a good time. He's just lying there giving me a come hither look. The game says he looks anxious, and I couldn't disagree more. I feel it looking into my eyes and saying,
"Hey, how you doing tonight?"
The game gives me the instruction that I'm supposed to stroke him to calm him down. And I can just feel the animal saying,
"Yeah, I want you to stroke me and make my anxiety go away. Let me put on some music to lighten the mood."
Where's the button to slowly back away? I can't find it anywhere.
"No, baby, don't go. I think I have something that you need to get your hands on."
Whoa! You have a rusty nail in your foot. Let's turn the music off. I need to fix you up. This is the gameplay loop. Get a report of a sick animal, help it, then come back a few minutes later to check up on them again. And this loop of the gameplay is the biggest problem, because there are some major loading issues with this title. When you first find an animal to help, you pretty much have to go to them, unless you do the ones in the vet. There's about a 20-second load to get to them. And then you help them, and then you go back to the world, and it's 35 seconds. Even if there are multiples of the same animals in the same enclosure, you still have to leave and come back to choose the animal you want. It was so tedious. Worse yet is when the animal is just being checked up on. It's normally just one button press to care for them, and then it's back to the main park. It's frustrating to have to wait all the time, and that's the only time you actually get experience points, after you do the second checkup. So the first time, which was the most important and the longest, doesn't count. Like I mentioned, these experience points are the currency to pick out new outfits for your character, and that's it. There's just nothing else to do with them, as far as I could tell. I started to get really bored playing this, and it got my mind wondering, can I break into the animal habitats? Now the game didn't have a jump button, so I couldn't jump over the railings. So I started to think I just couldn't do it. That's when I noticed that if I double pressed the button to get out of the car, it would make my character jump up a little bit to get out. And it gave me a little bit of height. So I thought maybe if I was close enough to the edge, I could maneuver myself into the animal enclosure. And guess what? It worked. Inside the enclosures, the animals didn't have any real collision. They would often just go through me or get on my head and float above me. Strangely, when I was inside the gorilla exhibit, they would actually be inside a fake building just floating around. I don't know why they would ever be set to come here, or why they were even defying the laws of gravity. Out of the 15 or so enclosures, I was able to get into 2 of them. The rest were bordered with flowers that would block me from getting too close, or in one case an invisible wall, which was odd because it was a bridge, and on the other side they didn't have that wall, so I guess they only cared about me going into that one enclosure. My vet practice in the zoo was pretty bad. If the zoo was more than just window dressing, it might have been interesting. Let us set the prices for souvenirs or even ticket prices. Have us do something other than helping the animals because it needed more. You made the environment, actually let us use it. The loading times were terrible. This game is $29.99, and even for $1, it's not worth it. This title just sucks. It's repetitive and boring. The zoo environment might be its best feature, but they did nothing with it, and you should just skip this game.